conspiracy of interests around this world. A common idea that we are not able to self-govern, but someone else must do it for us.
Continue.
I want to thank you so much for Marian Kuzga and Monica Cotinescu for the invitation to be here. The Romanian Republican Party is alive and well. Thank you so much. And to our delegation that we brought from Frank's speech, Mr. Mike Lindell sends you his love, and thanks you so much for your action and the work that you're doing to secure your country. It really is about the individual. It really is about the local level. And it said God uses the foolish things, the lowly things to confound the wise. And I truly know that's why I'm here today. Better to die in battle in full glory than to once again be slaves upon our ancient ground. That's your line. I resonate with that. America is under attack, there's no doubt. We are actively under radical tyranny under this regime right now. The laws that are being changed to accommodate communism and legalize the grooming of children in America. Parents are being alienated while the state steps in to take over and convert our kids to the lie of communism and indoctrinate them into trans ideology. They started with a comprehensive sex education class, and I think I've heard a lot of rumors that these things are happening here in Romania. And it evolves absolutely from mental health care into literally the mutilation of children without parents' knowledge or consent. These things are happening in America right now. Since January 7th of 2020, the United States corporation openly declared war on the American people. Everyone knows about January 6th, when a million or more patriots had come together to support our real president, Donald J. Trump. This event was infiltrated by FBI and CIA agents to entrap and create chaos. But many people don't know what happened on January 7th, just the very next day. Thousands of social media accounts were canceled immediately. Conservative Republican voices were shut down across the United States because you could not dare say anything about the Biden regime and their illegitimate victory in the 2020 election. That has carried on into multiple lawsuits. We've now discovered how actively aggressive our government has been against us, against regular people and those who had any type of voice in our country. People have a hard time believing this is actual, but it is. It's happening, it's true. And every day that you watch the weaponization against Donald Trump, the first time that a president has been attacked this way, using every facet they have of the justice system to take him down. The problem is, as you well know, they are not coming after him. They're coming after the regular, everyday person who dares to stand up to a government and believe that they have a seat at the table. Our founders created a constitution, but they added something called the Bill of Rights. These were intrinsic rights. They are God-given. They're not man-stated. They are God-given. They're intrinsic. We know that we have these rights to speak up, to say what we want, to worship as we choose, to express our grievances to our government. But I can tell you right now, even that First Amendment, to the Bill of Rights, and actually all 10 of them, have been completely corrupted over the last 3.5 years. On November 21st, November 16th of 2021, I was making breakfast for my boys. I was homeschooling at that time. We had pulled our kids out of these failing public school systems when we heard banging on our door. I was a regular, everyday parent. My husband worked in criminal justice, and I was actively involved in politics. We had been rallying our school boards, as was mentioned in that incredible introduction. Thank you. We were doing all the things that citizens need to do to secure their own local communities. It's just a part of our lives, right? It's not special. It's not politics. It's what you're supposed to do as a citizen of your country and as American citizens. I started hearing banging, loud banging on my front door. It got louder, my boys got scared, and I heard them start yelling, "Open up! It's the FBI! And we have a warrant." My husband came upstairs. My children were put in their rooms quietly and quickly. And I just remember standing there just completely shell-shocked because this stuff happens in other countries. Countries that don't have a Bill of Rights. Countries that don't have a sheriff. Countries that don't have the doctrine of innocent until proven guilty. But everything is changing in America. They promptly busted open my door with a battering ram. It was unlocked. And took me and handcuffed me and my husband in front of our home, paraded us for everyone to see. We had committed no crime. That was 3 years ago. Nothing's ever been done since. The government in America is actively using terror and the abuse of law to silence as many people as possible. So how does this make Europe great again? I want you to know what we did. We doubled and tripled down. We took every opportunity to scream from the rooftops what had happened to our family, how the government was utilizing their illegal authority against us to silence us and stop us from doing two things. One, holding legal and legitimate elections. I know you all can understand that here. And number two, protecting our children. That was us. We can never be silent, we can never be quiet. I learned so much from watching your future president, George Simeon, and reading his accounts of 12 times now being arrested for advocating for freedom. We cannot allow the fear of our reputation, of holding on to the things that we think we possess, our education, our titles, our status, our position in society, prevent us from doing what your line just said. Better to die in battle in full glory than to once again be slaves upon our ancient ground. We would call that living on our knees in America, and we just will not do it. We will not do it. You have to have the strength of conviction. You have to have the courage of conscience that when everyone else around you is telling you what you're doing is foolish, it will never work, and it doesn't have the popular majority, you have to stand anyway. Over these last few years of working with the great Mike Lindell and watching people like President Trump, Peter Navarro, Roger Stone, and all these incredible people who've shown us what it looks like to stand in the face of tyranny, what's been more impressive is the regular, everyday mom and dad who will not submit their children to the Luciferians, as I heard it said here today, and I believe that. This is not just a communist agenda, but a satanic agenda. If our children are not raised to recognize God, if they don't believe in what is normal and natural and neutral, we have nothing to boast about. Not our reputation, not our degrees, not our title, not our wealth. Because our children and 100 years of victory means they have our values, means they have our God, means they generate children and they produce more. They should be doing better than us, but this looks like the first generation that is possible. They truly will be less than if you and I do not decide to take up the mantle and step up for them. Our freedoms were taken to speak in America. Many live under fear, they live under stress and duress that the government will be at their door next. They created an agave sector. If you are supposedly anti-government, or anti-authority, or a veteran, you are now added to the domestic terrorist list in America. All the while, our borders are left open to bring in over 21 million illegal aliens who we have no idea who they are, where they come from, or what their motives are in our country. Our elections are under attack in America. To make Europe great again, to make any country again great, we must secure the family, we must advocate for God, and we must know that we have real elections, or we degenerate into simply a banana republic. If you do not know that you are having real elections, if you cannot gauge the chain of custody of the ballots that come in, if you do not know legal people, lawful people are actually voting in your elections, then you cannot confirm that your country will continue to exist, not in the manner in which you hope. It's on us. It's on us. Everyone now is looking for Trump to take office back again, but here is the reality. Trump is not in office right now, and there is no guarantee because we don't rig elections on our side. John Wayne is dead, and Calvary is not coming. You are the Calvary. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the one who has the power to change what is coming next. If you do not act in your God-given authority and stand in it. Again, regardless of what anyone else tells you you should be doing. That moment that you submit and lay your will down to the power of the living God and submit to His will in your life and the role you will play not only to secure Europe, but to secure this world from this common conspiracy that seeks to strip every single one of us of our natural rights. The moment you do that, real freedom will begin. Thank you so much for having me. To shine upon you, and may you serve the people of Romania well.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Bishop, for your speech to
And now, the next speaker is Mr. Geoffrey Van Horden. He's a former British Army Brigadier General who